All right. Good evening, everybody. Let's do a audio and visual check. How's everybody doing? Good evening, 8 Mile Style, Mad Lucky, everybody. New week. Man, weekends go by so freaking fast, doesn't it? But let me make sure everything looks good. There we go. That looks better. Looks good. All right, so let's get started. Welcome to Slow Markets, everybody. I'm Coach Dakota, Coach DBA, and as always, there is our Topstep risk disclosure in the YouTube chat. This is not a signals class. It's for educational purposes only. And, if we do get some time later on this evening, I'm going to go ahead and copy and paste my channel in the Topstep Discord. So if you'd like me to review your statistics here in class, go ahead and share your statistics from Topstep X in that channel. Oh, here we go. Man, what a week. I haven't really looked at these markets, but we can do that together. Buy the dip. Is that what we're doing? Buy the freaking dip. That's all it's been since we had that dramatic sell-off. You guys have heard me all last week and the week before that as it was happening, that we're just going to look back and say what an amazing buying opportunity that dramatic event and all this panic selling became, right? We sold off, and the last 7 days have been nothing but buy the dip. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And here is day number 8, Sunday night, Monday, depending on where you are at around this world. And if you guys remember, everybody who's tuning in, that beautiful trade that we had set up as an example for educational purposes only. If you guys remember what that was, we'll go over that once we do some more analysis. It was basically putting a sell limit up near this resistance, and it was, I don't know where it was. I think it was at like 675, and it worked out beautiful. 200 points. It hit to take profit. I'll go more in depth. Maybe we can see if there's something going on tonight. But as always, nothing has really changed from today until Friday. We were looking at this to become a nice resistance zone. Everybody's looking at it. I mean, everybody, long-term, short-term, everybody that is using a daily chart can see it's very clear and obvious. This was support. It became resistance, and it started to act as resistance Friday. And we'll see how it reacts today. It looks like we opened up and we're holding up into those mid to upper 600s. But let's zoom into an hourly chart, and we will go over that trade briefly from yesterday. So, not yesterday, Thursday night. So if you guys remember, we were looking at this as a resistance zone, and sure enough, we was looking to put a sell limit right at 674, and we were risking about 50 points to make 150 or something like that. You guys feel free, the recordings there. But yeah, that was such a beautiful trade. I woke up this morning and it hit. I got filled at 674, and we sold off. And I mean, that is it. That is the slow markets style that I love to trade. The market's back to normal, and we could have trades set up just like that. And on the opposite side, so if we want to talk from the opposite side of the analysis, right, where we're looking at this, right, this little resistance and support right here around 500, sure enough, that was a beautiful buy the dip opportunity. So the support and resistance, the very basic technical analysis has worked on Friday in such a beautiful way, and I love it when these markets are reacting like this. Similar, right? We're in a similar situation than we were Friday. It's a little bit different just because we were overextended. We got the pullback, and now we're bumping up against resistance. So the question is, do we break through this? If we do break, the first area that I'm going to be looking at is going to be right here. I mean, this is a pretty decent sized zone, but 200 20,000. It's a big psychological number. If we do break out, I don't see what would be the reason why we wouldn't see 20,000. It's a psychological number. It's a big round number. There's what, 3, 4, 5 zeros sitting at it. So yeah, if we do break and we start to get momentum, I don't see us not getting there, right? We very well could. I mean, of course, we see some resistance that we could run into on the shorter term, but that is definitely going to be a target this week, 20,000. Dare I say it's a weekly target, because we could get there in a day. We could get there between now and tomorrow morning. I'm just going to say a target. And while I'm talking about weekly target, let's look at the Topstep daily levels. I want to see where the daily levels are. Let's see. Man, it just seems like we just keep blowing by them. Look at that. Look at that one. This blue one, that was a beautiful one, right? This blue daily level at 452, it played out really well. And, pretty much during the afternoon, these 3 levels acted as support, and we're right above them. So nothing above so far. So that's interesting to see. Nothing above. So I'm going to wait and see. This is the previous resistance that we were looking at. I'm bullish. I'm going to continue to stay bullish. I'm going to be looking at buying the dips. I do not want to buy up here, right? I mean, man, this is hard, because I want to talk about like a breakout trade that there is a chance that you could get into a long position playing a breakout, but it's just so hard in terms of trying to buy up here, because there has been such strong resistance. You could get yourself into a bad situation really quick trying to buy a breakout. I would much rather, as you could see that we had Friday, I'd much rather get a breakout, and you guys have probably seen this before, where we break out and then we look for some type of a retest and look for that continuation, and then look for the market to reverse or consolidate, and then look for the breakout from there. That's what I am definitely preferred and going to be looking at tomorrow. I'm not going to be selling up here because we're in such a bullish market. I'm not going to be selling. I don't want to be buying. It's kind of just sit on my hands and wait until the market gives us what we want to see. That going ahead, let's go ahead and move and look at crude oil. Ooh, crude oil has started to sell back off. We did have a couple very brief opportunities to get in long, but it looks like the major downtrend is starting to play back into effect. And if we start to zoom out, you can see from a daily chart, we are making lower highs. Is this a lower low or is it an equal low? I mean, some might say this is a lower low because we did go lower technically. Some might look at this and say it's an equal low. But I wouldn't be surprised if we come back and test around $73 to $72 a barrel. It's starting to look ugly, starting to look heavy. We did break down and we did break out of, what was it? Was it like this? Was it something like this? I'm not sure. I don't see anything from a technical standpoint on the daily chart that I like in crude oil. It's just been very bearish, and we could see a push back down towards $68 a barrel. I'm going to keep that in mind. I think this is going to be something we see if we do start to push down and break through these levels. You could see back last year in June, we were around these levels, and we were around $67 to $68 a barrel. So I would not be surprised we see that again. I'm less bearish, or I'm less bullish on crude oil. As much as I want to be a bull, and I usually am, and it's easier for me personally to be buying in the markets, it's very hard, right? Because every single time we make these highs, we just reject and we start to sell off. If there is some type of a bull case, we do find some support right here at 74, up the upper 74s. You can see this was resistance, and now it's becoming support. So maybe we get some type of a pullback. If anything, maybe that's just an excuse or a reason to get in short. So maybe we get some type of a bounce up towards $76 to $77 a barrel, and then maybe look for a short and a continuation down. I'm not sure. I'm a little more hesitant on crude oil. So I think crude oil, once again, is something I'm going to pass on If there is an opportunity, maybe it's to the long side because this is holding up as support and the risk reward is greater to the long side, and then just waiting for maybe that pullback in order to get shorts. Like that could be a possibility. I don't know. Maybe it's going to be a different tune tomorrow morning or tomorrow night. Next, let's take a look at Nikkei. Nikkei is bullish. Oh, wow. Yeah, we are pushing right back up above the 38,000 level. This is another interesting example, right? This was, I'll zoom in a little bit. So this was support, right? It's support again. And if we extend this out, we broke through it, we sold off, and now this is becoming support again. So will it be realistic if we come back and see these highs? Come back and see these highs around 38,800 up near this? I think so. I think that's pretty dang realistic. We've had a nice rally. And, Nikkei is not for newer traders. It moves very fast. It's very volatile. We're up, 1.25% just tonight because of this rally. And as we start to zoom in, you can see how volatile it's been. Like even this move was 4.25%. Like it's been very volatile. It's $25 per tick. And so I've been kind of staying away from Nikkei a little bit. I don't mind talking about it more because we have that volatility, and it's been a very simple market in terms of, yesterday we were looking at, or not yesterday, last week, we were looking at this very basic support and resistance where we break out, pull back, resistance becomes support, and we rally up. And, it's been the same case for Nikkei. Nikkei likes to honor the technicals a little bit better, in my opinion. So maybe we do get that breakout above, 38,170, and then we come back and start pushing these 38,800s. That being said, let's move on to gold. Now, remember, guys, if you do have questions, feel free to type them in the chat. We have the amazing moderators here who will feed me those questions. Let's take a look at gold. Gold is... Are we at 2,600 yet? No, not yet. I like the 2,600 target. I've liked it for a while. It's just higher lows and higher highs. It's as bullish as the market could get. And if we zoom into an hourly chart, it's more of the same, right? Here's a beautiful technical thing, right? Where this was resistance, we broke out, we came back, we tested it, and we rallied all the way back up. And if you remember, Friday when we were trading, where I was looking to get in, this is it, right? We broke out, and then when we got that pullback down to 25.15, 25.16, basically this resistance, it was another great opportunity to get in long for a push. Looks like we went up to 25, almost 50. Did it hit 50? 25, yeah, pretty close. We went up 25.50. It looks like we're starting to sell off, and we still have about 15 minutes. Let me look and zoom in. I do see this. This was resistant, so maybe this will become support. Let's look on a 5-minute, because we still have 15 minutes until the 8 p.m. Central gold trade. I think we might see it here. Maybe it's early again. This was resistance, right? Resistance during the New York Open, and then resistance during the afternoon session in New York. So will this resistance become support? So far, it's looking like it. We found a lot of buyers stepping in this zone already, trying to hold it up. We will watch it. Let's get to some questions. I'll go through and read some of the chat, and if I miss some, go ahead and make sure you type it in the chat as well. Let's see. All right, let's get to some questions. Are trades not registered on charts? I'm not sure what you mean, Matt G. Gold potential pullback to 25.38. 25.38. Yep, that's what we're looking for. This is a area that could become support again. Look lower, Dakota. 25.27. All the way down to 25.27. Interesting. Maybe right here. I'm not sure. I think if I'm looking lower, I would prefer this 25.31, maybe the 25.31s, because we showed, some support and resistance here for a little bit. So maybe these two levels, there is, I could sit here and try and pick out levels throughout here. So there's always going to be some levels. Man, it's so hard because I could sit here on the chart and say, this is a level, that's a level, this is a level, here's another level. Essentially, I'm just looking at these major levels from the higher time frames. So I think there's an argument to be made. This one down here around 31, and then again this one right. And these are zones, right? These are zones. They're not exact, and this is based on my discretion, the way that I like to read the market. Someone could look at it in a different way and could see something completely different than what I'm seeing as well. What time frame do you draw your supply and demand zones? I like multiple time frames, right? The markets are fractal. You guys see me, I do the hourly chart. I could see it set up on the hourly, and then I start to zoom into a 5-minute chart. So daily, hourly, 5-minute are the time frames that I like. Let's see. Dakota, do you take volume/market profile levels into account in your trading system? I do not. That's always the question. I get a lot of questions like that. Dakota, why don't you not look at volume? Why don't you look at volume profile and this? And it's just not the way I trade. It's not. I'm not saying that's wrong or right. For me, the less I have to look at the way that I trade, the more simple, the better it is for myself. I see a lot of traders who use volume and use that volume or market profile, and they are amazing traders. Some could even argue they can see things I can't, obviously. And so, yeah, maybe they could be better traders than I am. I just like pure technical analysis, naked charts, no indicators other than the support, basically what I draw. And then I've been taking a look at the Topstep daily levels, because remember, we have coaches and we have team members here at Topstep who come in and they put their daily levels on here. And so, yeah, that's something I am looking at and watching just to see how they perform around my strategies, right? Because they're pretty good. They have been pretty good in terms of these levels where we could look at support and resistance. Now, it's not a trade service or a trade signal. It's just areas that could be of interest. And so I've been looking at that. I wouldn't say it's an indicator I'm going to be having on my chart yet until, like, I would recommend everybody else, if you like it, right? I love Hoag's levels. There are some amazing traders here at Topstep who put their levels out there, and they're putting it into that, right? Topstep daily levels. And now it's not a signal, but it is an area, just like how I'm saying, okay, this to me looks 25.38 to me looks like a great level because this was resistance, and I'm maybe looking for it to become support. Now, I'm not saying, hey, everybody, if it gets down here, we buy or sell it. It's just a level of interest where, everybody here in slow markets class can make that decision for themselves. Torrent, Dakota, trade on XFAs. Do you want me to trade on XFAs? I could trade on XFAs tonight. We will trade gold on XFAs. But we're gonna go do micros. I need to get rid of this level though. Give me just a second. We still have a few minutes left. 8 minutes till the gold 8 p.m. trade. I need to talk to guys. I forgot to talk to Mick. I messaged Mick to talk about micros and minis and switching from micros to minis. And I need to leave this note. I talked to Mick Friday through Messenger. We use Slack to message back and forth. And I sent him a message. He's like, hey, we should just call as soon as I'm done with the reverse challenge Friday afternoon. And I forgot to call him. I just spaced him out. Hopefully he's not too upset with me. It was just one of those where I was just tired. Yeah. Sarah, I forgot to call him. He's like, hey, just call me when you're done with the reverse challenge. And I just forgot. I was so tired. I was done. It was Friday. I was done for the day. But essentially, what I'm going to have a conversation with them is, how can a trader, myself, everybody here, make the proper switch or the transition from trading micros to minis? As I've started to review a lot of trader statistics, I've seen there's a lot of traders who love micros, and it's amazing. However, sometimes they're using too many micros, like hundreds and hundreds of micros in a week. And, volume and commissions could start to eat away and become a factor or an effect on your overall profit. So that conversation is what I'm very curious on having. And so that way I could, maybe think about how to properly transition or ask or answer questions that, everybody here in the chat is going to be asking me. Like, hey, when do I switch? When's a good time? Like, why would I trade hundreds and hundreds of micros compared to minis? Or why can't I just trade minis, or vice versa? And to find a realistic answer. We're starting to bounce off this. I wonder if this rally is a little bit early. We have 7 minutes till 8 p.m. So, sure enough, obvious now with hindsight, this did become resistance. That became support, right? This was resistance and it became support. So maybe that was the missed opportunity right there. That was a nice $3 bounce. Yeah, that is a beautiful trade. Trade my Express funded account. Okay. Let's watch this. Let's see. I'm going to zoom in. So the first thing, there's a lot of support here. I mean, this is a big zone. Dare I say it's like that? Or we could, I don't know, because what I'm seeing and what I'm watching this is there's a lot of support there, a lot of support here. And then, we had this support resistance zone as well. And so that makes it difficult because, is this entire area a zone? That's pretty big zone, $2-3. Maybe it's just because I'm on a lower time frame. It looks so big. And you could even say all the way down here. And maybe it's just like a no trade. We wait for a breakout above or a breakout down. Let's ask you guys. Let me ask the chat. Start a poll. Long or short? Let's see what you guys are thinking. And I'm not going to look at the till. I'm just going to see what you guys are, what the general consensus is for the chat, for everybody here. I'm going to zoom into a 1 minute chart now. Interesting. Seeing that 1 minute, you can see it a little bit more cleaner when every time you zoom in, you see it a little bit cleaner, just like Google Maps, right? The closer you get, the more detail you have. Majority is saying short. I see and I understand that. I'm actually liking that as well, right? We have this nice downtrend. We opened up. We went up to almost 25.50, sold off, made a lower high, and from a pure technical standpoint, right? This is the lower high, and we just made a lower low. So technically, we're on an intermediate, like we might be, trending down, but the overall trend is long, right? So this could be a bullish flag pattern, right? Where on the shorter term, we could be trending down. Maybe we go down. But on the longer term, I want to make sure that we always must keep in mind what the longer term trend is. And it just depends on how you determine what long term versus short term versus intermediate term, and how you play those in your strategies. But I don't want to be short gold. Like, I don't want to hold a short gold overnight. Let's just say that, just because we've been so bullish gold lately. We've been really bullish gold, right? If we look at the hourly chart, the direction we've been going is up and to the right. But we've been getting some decent pullbacks. You know what? Let's look at this. Ooh, man, that is something to be said, right? Like that is an average true move, and we've kind of already got that. So actually, the more I look at it, the more realistically a pullback would be. And we're staying below this. This was a key resistance, right? But I'm not too convinced in either direction. The chat's about 50-50, about 4% to, more to the short side. Yeah, this is interesting. Yeah, we'll watch it. I'm in my Express funded accounts. And we'll do the same journal. Tonight's, every single night, it's always something different. The market's in a different location. There's different technicals. There's so many factors that come into play when trading. It's almost impossible to get identical markets every single night, or at least, back-to-back markets that are exactly the same. And they always react differently as well. We'll watch. We'll see. Don't feel pressure. Yeah. Also, guys, I'm going to always say this. I heard this. I can't remember who it was. It Dobie who said not trading is also an option. Trading is optionary. You do not have to trade. But I've actually really loved trading gold like this. Dakota, do you consider patterns like head and shoulders, like the bearish on gold on the 5-minute? Yes, I do consider everything that I see from a technical standpoint. If it pops out to me, sure. I see what you're seeing. If you're saying that this is a shoulder, this is a head, and then this is a shoulder, that's kind of already played out though, right? It's not as clean. If that's the case, maybe we look for gold to rally, test it, and then get a continuation down. Maybe that. I don't know. I don't know. Like I said, we could sit here and we could analyze the chart, and we could probably put 50 different trend lines and support and resistance and technical patterns here and convince us both to either buy it and sell it at the same time. It's easy to go back through and do hindsight. We'll watch. We'll watch and see. 1 minute left. I'm on micros, gold micros. So we're starting to get that breakdown. The breakdown was basically sell the break right there. So far, everybody in YouTube's right, or at least the majority, 54%. That was the short. I'm going to see if we could have a reversal to the long side. That's getting rejected. That was a pretty good rejection off this same level again. This is a very solid support. It's very solid. Very strong. Yeah, we sold off, immediately rejected, and right back up. If we break above, 25.42, there's an argument to get along. I'd love to see more consolidation. We're 1 minute past. That could have been it. Immediately right back up and touched 52. 42. And now we're breaking long. I don't like this price action at all. It was to the long side. The break is to the long side, guys. Beautiful. If you got in on that reversal, good job. I did not take it. I did not take it. That was a beautiful reversal if we were long enough. Maybe I overanalyzed it. The trend was bullish. We're bullish, and we just broke out. There it is. Playing that reversal was the move. Now do we go back up to where we opened? We basically opened right there at 46.6. This was the open, right around there. Trading it is not an option. Or trading it is an option. It's not an option. Done for the week. 8 Mile, you traded that and now you're done for the week, huh? You had a 5-minute week. And now we're going right back down. This is a market that just hates everybody. Hit stop losses to the long side and hit stop losses to the short side. I didn't see anything I liked. If I would have been triggered in maybe to the long here, but it wasn't giving me a good enough reason to get in. Like I was wanting us to maybe hang down around closer to 40, maybe 39 and find a better reason to get long. But no, this market is just really chopped up. Maybe if you're really scalping it, even then it was definitely difficult to trade. Insert, it's a trap. It was a trap on both ways. It trapped the shorts here, trapped the longs. Everyone who got stopped out who's short, now wishing that they didn't get stopped out because the market's going right back down. This market is ugly and definitely not one for trade. Now, that being said, we have that luxury in futures to look at different markets. So let's do just that. Let's look at these other markets, see what's happening here in the Asian session. Not seeing too much. We're getting a little bit of a pullback here on the Nikkei. It's the Japanese market. We had this nice rally to start the session off. See a nice, beautiful rally. And we're got a pullback ever since. Maybe there's something to get long on the Nikkei. Getting in long. This is a interesting area of support and resistance. It looks like we did break out, pulled back, tested it, and then rallied. I'm going to be watching this. We'll watch this for a minute. Let's take a look at the NASDAQ. What's NASDAQ doing? Is that not really doing anything either? Whole lot of nothing. Whole lot of nothing tonight. We're making, I do like this. I do like that we're, making some resistance. So that way it's a very clean and clear breakout. But I'm not seeing anything very attractive in terms of the trade to take. Maybe this Nikkei. Maybe a Nikkei long. I'm going to look at this a little bit more to see if that's actually a realistic trade. Yeah, Coach Hoop saying with this extremely low volume, I wouldn't read too much into any moves right now. Yep, very low volume. It's the summer. I think Nick even said that. Big shout out to Nick. He was on a little bit earlier. He's doing the Sunday Open. I love it. He kind of explained that as well. Not a lot of volume. And when there's not a lot of volume, you do see markets like that. It's the normal, regular summer trading. So not liking much on this one either. We are pushing back down here on the Nikkei, close to 37,915. I'd like to see if we get to 37,900, I'll consider getting into a small long. I do like this. Wouldn't it be too unrealistic? Yeah, that might have been it right there. We'll watch and see. That was a major rejection. Let's see. It rejected off these highs of 38,140s. But this is that zone I was looking for. Yeah, I think that was the move. That was the move I was looking to scalp. That was it. It was just, I don't want to say a dead cat bounce. It was just kind of, if we push down towards 37,900. I look for maybe a little push back up to 38,000, but that was the play. We are getting some buyers stepping back in when we got to close to 37,900. That was it. I missed that one too. So I think that's all is off. That being said, let's go ahead and let's talk about some slow market concepts. That was enough in terms of just getting in and out. Let's see if there's some overnight trades that are from a higher time frame, just like we were looking at Thursday night, which means we go to a higher time frame. And let's take a look. I'm going to look at NASDAQ again to say, is there any opportunities to get in longer or short overnight? And I'm going to say no, just because we're already so high up here. I wouldn't really want to get in a short, because if we do break, we could gain some momentum all the way up to that 20,000 level. I think it was crude oil that I might see something on here. Not even crude, to be honest. It's just nothing's very attractive to me in terms of getting in or getting out. Maybe there's a reason to get in long in crude, playing for the pullback to 77 or some of these high 76s. So maybe an opportunity to get in long crude oil, but I don't want to hold a long crude overnight, because we have that risk because we're selling off and this market's starting to gain momentum to the downside. So, if we wake up and the market's down to $73 a barrel, I wouldn't be surprised. So I'm even hesitant to take any trades on crude to the short side. Maybe this is the only thing. I feel like this would be pushing it. But I'm going to talk about this just for an example. If you guys missed my Thursday night class, rewatch it. Just rewatch my Thursday night's class. I think that's as classic and as good of a trade as I could explain and go over, is placing a trade, letting it run overnight, and then when you wake up, it's either hit your stop loss or take profit, even if it did trigger. And I think that was one of the best examples that I could have done. I'm not seeing anything in crude. Gold's starting to sell off now. Oh, wow. Yeah, that was it, right? That was the play. If somebody was able to get in short up there, I mean, I don't even think I would have been able to get it now. There was no reason for me to get in short. I mean, that sucks. I'm actually liking it long. Let's see if we could get a bounce to the long side. The risk would be 36.1. That's quite a big. It's quite a bit of risk on that one. I think that was it. The trade 38.2. I'm just a little bit slow tonight. Yep. I think if I was going to get in, it would be playing the break of that right around 25.38.2, because that would be the entry. The stop loss would be the bottom of that candle, and that's a lot for a stop loss in this type of a market. My take profit would probably be just right back up at 40 maybe. Oh, man. And that's a 1-to-1. That's just not enough for me as well. I'm just missing everything tonight. Yeah, I am. Oh, it's just one of those nights. I'm just missing. I'm missing all these trades on stream. I made the trades before I got on stream, but I'm missing these ones. That was the trade on. Yeah. Oh well. I did trade the open. You guys were wondering where I did make some of this money is from the open. Yeah, you guys, you want to see what I traded on the open? Here, this is what I traded on the open. I did a 100 tick chart. I was trading my this is what I traded on the open. I wonder if it will show it. You guys want to see it? Yeah, Elvis, it's a little difficult trying to go back and forth when I'm running a stream, so I'm a little bit slow. Maybe that's the argument and the plug for the hotkeys. You know, I need to get used to hotkeys so that way I could be a little bit faster here on stream. Let's go. Will this do it? Because there was a few trades right there I missed. Maybe? I don't know why it's not showing it. I thought it would show this. Oh, no. There we go. It is probably that one. Let's go here. Okay. Here's the trades I took this morning, or right at the New York session open. It looks, yeah, that was it. It was, we opened up, we gapped up, right? We sold off. And it was very similar to that Nikkei trade. Remember that Nikkei? I mean, pretty much Nikkei or gold. Look, we came down, we gapped up, or we basically went up, sold off. I bought in one, and then I bought into another one on this breakout up. And so this is a little bit advanced. I don't mind going through this. I bought it as we were touching this resistance. And, you know, I went ahead and got in again once we broke out, right? This is very extremely fast. Now, please understand, this is, I do not ever, like, this is within seconds. Like, this is very fast. Held in, closed out of one, closed out of another one, and that was one of the trades at the open. Now, these are micros, 3 contracts if they're minis. And then same again, right? I was looking for a retest of back up here to see if this was a deeper pullback. For example, we had this nice rally up. We had a nice pullback. I got in 3. I tried to close out. It didn't let me close out of my second or third one. And then I added to it when we got right back down. And then I out 1, out 2, and then out 3. That's not too much. Ugh, man, I don't like the way that this is on there. Okay, let's get to some more questions, and then we'll do some trader statistics. Let's take a look at the markets. What do they do? So I could feel a little bit of FOMO for missing out on Yeah, we rallied. Man, that was the trade. Dang it. I wish I was in that one. And then I'm guessing gold too. Nope, gold's sold off. So that's all right. Let's go ahead. Let's move on. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of the questions and then get to some trader statistics. We already 15 minutes past 8 p.m. We didn't really have a trade tonight to go on during stream, so there's nothing to really journal or talk about in terms of trading, you know, stop loss and all that fun stuff. We do it every single night anyway, and if you missed it, you can feel free to watch any of the recordings at 8 p.m. Central. We go through it. And let's take a look. Some of the trader statistics that have been submitted. Let's go ahead and briefly go through this. If you haven't done it, go through it on the link on the YouTube chat. There is a link to the the Topstep Discord, and then there's my channel. All you'll need to do is go into the performance statistics and then click on share statistics. Tebow, does your average change when you scale in and out? I believe it. So I believe it does. I think it looks at, like, if we look at this, I think your average does. I'm not 100% sure. I'll have to look into that for you. But if you want me to review your statistics, all you'll need to do is click on share, copy link, and then share it to the link in that or right there in the YouTube chat. It's to my Discord channel, and then type any notes that you have on it so that I know, you know, is it an XFA? I would see if it's an XFA or if it's a combine, and we could talk through that and get to some questions. So here is one that I started to see come through already. Let's look at it. So give me a second. We'll get this set up, and then I will answer some questions as well. Okay, first of all, this is an express funded account. Started this month. It looks like August 9th is the start date for this. Express funded account. Now remember, as always, express funded accounts always have more pressure. I mean, it has more pressure on a trader mentally, psychologically, than it would a regular combine. I mean, you have the opportunity to receive a payout when you are trading this. So immediately, the one thing that pops out at me is, not a lot of days traded in this express funded account. I mean, there still is, about 7 days, not too bad, a good week and a half. But the first thing, trade win percentage. So usually when I see a percentage this high, the risk reward is the exact opposite, where, you're risking, $8, or you're risking $16 to make $8. It's upside down. It's, instead of a 1 to 2, it's a 2 to 1, right? However, because you have such a high trade win percentage, the profit factor is really high. This is great to see. The question is, can you keep this high of a win percentage? It's very hard to do. It's a rare thing to see somebody maintain this high win percentage on here, but it's just, you have to keep it when you have an upside down risk reward. If I was to guess, and as we go through this, maybe you're holding your losses a lot longer. I don't know. We'll see. Just scrolling through if there's any highlights. 54 trades in 7 days. Looks like you're doing about 2 to 3 contracts per trade. Worst trade 646 was micros. So this is why I'm curious. Holding one micro short for over 600 points. And this is, I'm curious on that. You held one micro short for over 670 points. Like that is something else. Maybe you just didn't want to just close it out. You didn't want to take the loss. I'm not sure. That was, most of your losses are 4 hours and up. So maybe you're just hesitant at closing your losses, waiting for it to come back and around. Maybe that's why your win trade percentage is so high and your risk reward's down. I'm not sure 100%, because look, these other ones that you're taking a loss on, you are closing them out really quick. Maybe it's just 1 or 2 or a handful of them that's just getting away from you. Especially when I see that one, it looks like 2 of them here, where it was basically you got in one pretty close to the same price, and you just let them run against you over 600 points, right? That's very difficult, because that wipes, and as you guys could see, it wipes out, a few good days, but you bounce back $1,500, 800, 300. So not too bad. Great. You made money your first week. Try and stay consistent. Maybe work on closing your losses out a little bit sooner to help you, because it's hard. It really is hard winning this much, in terms of just, you have to win. And if you don't win, it's, you could see, right? So let's move on to the next. And then I will be ending class a little bit early. It is Sunday. Remember, Sunday, it's, meant for family. I'm going to be having my Friday end a little bit early as needed. So last one, and then we'll go through a few more things and finish it up. So that being said, here's another one. Express funded account, started in August. $6,000 in 5 days. Wow. I mean, that's pretty good, right? 6,000 in 5 days. This is kind of what I love to see, where the trade win percentage is closer to 55%, and the risk reward is close to 2 to 1. So for every $1 you're looking to risk, you're going to be making 2. I love that. Profit factor is amazing, 2.43. Still not a lot of statistics. Any day could change these dramatically. So please be aware of that. Looks like you're trading about 3 contracts per trade. Average trade duration is 14. Love that. I like this, right? Worst trade, $1,700. Best trade, $2,900. Trading minis. So minis are perfectly fine as long as you're able to manage your risk. And I love to see that someone who is trading minis is looking for that 2-to-1 risk reward and is perfectly fine with closer to a 50% win trade percentage. Means you're cutting your losses off short, right? Let's take a look. Let's dive into these statistics. So it's not too much of that bell curve. Your bell curve is being created. I would say the majority of your losses you are cutting off short. That's what makes sense. It's like all three of these time frames, you are cutting your trades off short and letting your winners run. That's probably why you're seeing that beautiful risk reward. The daily loss limit is, okay, here's this. Okay, I want to say this for sure. And maybe I'll talk about it to MP this week if I get to meet him on Topstep TV. Maybe I could even talk to Mick on this. Hitting your daily loss limit does not have to be a bad thing. It sucks, but the daily loss limit is there just to save you. In terms of, if you could have your winning days much greater than your losing days, then a daily loss limit is okay. What you do not want to happen is having like $200 winning days and then hit your daily loss limit. And it's all about perspective. It's all about ratio, right? Is your losing day wiping out many winning days? In this case scenario, no. It's perfectly reasonable and understandable, right? It can be like, hey, the most I'm going to lose today is $3,000. That's perfectly fine because look, the very next day, $3,800, $2,000, $1,600, $1,700. I look at it a little bit similar. I've seen traders look at it, very similar as well. That's what a daily loss limit's there for. If you want to tighten it up a bit, you could call the risk management team and say, hey, instead of risking $3,000, I want to risk $2,000. And Mick and the team would love that, and vice versa, right? That's what a daily loss limit is for. As long as you're keeping your winning days equal to, or if not greater, it looks like it's a 2-to-1 per trade. So hopefully this isn't just one trade. It wasn't multiple trades, right? So if you're not just jumping in and just hitting your daily loss limit on one trade, looks like you did have your bad losing trade of 10 on the YM. But that wasn't hitting your daily loss limit. You just didn't let one trade hit your daily loss limit, right? It was, multiple trades. You had some winning trades, some losing trades. What I don't like to see is just like one trade, boom, instant daily loss limit. And then that's when it could get ugly, especially when your winning days are not as good. I do like this. This is a great note. And I think I'm going to end it on this last thing before I move on is look at this. One trade, one good trade, $1,600, and you called it a day. Like, that is very hard to do. This is very disciplined. Looks like you took it at 7:12 a.m. You finished at 7:30 a.m. and you were done for the day. That is very hard to do as traders. One trade, what is it? Not even 20 minutes. Yeah, I'd say one trade, 15 minutes, and you were done. Love that. Love to see this. This one was 3 trades, 7:40 a.m. till 8:50 a.m. And then you were done. You were basically done the first 30 minutes of the trading session. Let's take a look at the rest of this. 8 a.m. Same thing. Within an hour, you are done for the day. Did you extend on here? So this one's a little bit interesting. You were trading in the afternoon session as well. And then here is the same thing. So you had, that was a really good trade. But I love to see that. You do not need to trade. Trading is optional. I'm not sure what time zone this is. It doesn't say here. But I think the idea is that you're only trading for 30 minutes to an hour. Less than an hour and you're done. To me, that's what trading is about. You could hop in, you could trade for an hour, you could make $1,600, $2,000, $3,000, and then be done, and then not trade. And you do whatever you want for the rest of the day, right? Go to the gym, go work out. Maybe you have another job you're going to, whatever it is. That to me is why I absolutely love trading. where you have the option to not trade, good or bad. This trader is just trading for an hour and being done. Stick with it. I love to see that. And that being said, it's Sunday night, guys. How was your weekend? How was everybody's weekend? Did you guys do anything fun? I'm curious to hear from the chat. If you guys heard anything fun. I am getting used to my hotkeys. And if you did miss it, over here in the hotkey settings, they did add this. I think that's going to be more useful now. The contract size +1, contract size -1. Work. I went and watched the new Alien movie. I didn't like it as much as I thought I would. A good relaxing weekend. So sometimes that's all you can ask for, right? Housework. Does Nikkei rally? It was horrible. Were you just... what I used to do is during the weekend, all I would do is I would feel so bored just patiently waiting for Sunday night so I could start trading again. I used to be like that, where I would trade all week, and then on the weekend, all I would do is just wait. And I was just so anxious and so excited for the markets to finally open so I could trade again. And now I've started to do the opposite. I've actually started to enjoy my weekends, not thinking about trading, not excited for the markets to open up. I'm just like, you know what? I don't even think about the markets on the weekend anymore. And I think that last trader where I was showing, only trade for an hour and then done. You don't need to sit there and be anxious to trade and wait for the markets to open on Sunday. I don't know. Is that a bad habit? I think it was, because it took up a lot of my mental capital that it stole the weekends away from me. Richard, there. Yeah, trading and thinking about trading can really ruin someone's weekend, especially if you end on a Friday and you end at a very negative point, right? If you hit your daily loss limit on a Friday or gave back some of your profits on a Friday and you're going into the weekend, the only thing you could think about is you taking loss and you losing, and then you trying to make it back up, and how are you going to make it up, and all of that. So yeah, trading is very difficult. And that being said, Tuesday, if you guys are going to be at all during the TopstepTV daytime show, the one I'm going to be suggesting is Tuesday, which is August 20th. Brett Steenberger is going to be on. And so that being, maybe that's a question to ask him. It was Ask Me Anything. We could ask Brett Steenberger, how does somebody not think or reset, not thinking about trading during the weekend? He's going to be on Tuesday. I'm going to be there. I really suggest you guys be there. If not, you could always watch the recording. It's going to be great. I'm excited. Him and the last one was so amazing. But other than that, I think I'm going to leave it there. Dee's, remember, don't forget, Dee's doing the London Open at 3:30 a.m. and I will be on for Fast Markets. So until then, I will talk to you then.